Okay, so I wanted to record this video to kind of explain my whole experience with LSD, more so the ego death that I experienced last night. I don't want to say last night, but 2 nights ago. And that shit was fucking insane, dude. Like, I have so much that's going on inside my brain now, and I just need to get it out, and I need to talk, and I need to explain. Anyway, sorry, my sister came in, but, well, okay, alright. So there's gonna be no cuts in this video, there's not gonna be anything, there might be pauses and breaks, because someone probably came in my room. I'm not gonna go into depth about editing any of this shit, because I don't care enough. I just want to make this video, and I want to just put it out there. But basically, me and my boyfriend did acid together, and we didn't know the UG, we just split the tab, and we took it, and I feel like it was what mostly caused it was probably because we smoked weed as well, and I took a fat ass rip off of a gravity bong. Oh my god, that shit hurt. But so usually what makes me realize when the acid is starting to kick in is my heart rate starts to increase, and I already feel very more creative, and I start thinking more ahead, and I'm like, oh yeah, when I'm on acid, I'm gonna want to create, like, I'm gonna write, I'm gonna want to draw. But that never happens. I never end up doing any of that when I start tripping, at least, or whenever I get deeper into the trip. But my body starts to feel a little more weird. My skin is sensitive, so I can really feel my clothes on me, and it's honestly so weird. It's just like, it all feels so tingly, my skin. But after we took the tab at my house, I went to his house, alright, and his mom wasn't home, so we were home alone, and then we were just kind of like chilling. We spent a whole hour looking for our weed after we made a gravity bong. Turns out that shit was underneath our gravity bong, and we were oh my god, it was so stressful. But our gravity bong was like, so we had like coffee grinds, like the container. We took the lid off, and then we cut up like a Powerade bottle, and then stuck like a little what are they called? I don't know, but it's like this metal piece. I can show you guys. One of these things. So I put this into the cap of the Powerade bottle, and I look like shit, I know I do, but I just have to make this video, guys. But I've never posted on my channel because I just watch YouTube all the time. But after that, when I start to get a little more deeper into the whole trip, I start to feel really awkward, because I feel like I just kind of it's my anxiety, and like I forget how to like talk to people, and like it just gets really awkward for me, because like whoever I'm with, I look at them and I'm like, how do I talk to that person? How does this work? And I feel like I feel like everyone starts to become fake. And I don't really want to say fake, but like they just become like, I feel like I can see through them. Like my mind, I guess, makes me think that everyone's just lying to me, and they're just like, they're not who I think they are, or I feel like they're always pretending to be a certain type of way, and it's stupid, and I feel like it might be ignorant, but whatever. That's just another sign that I'm getting deeper into the acid. And so I was just watching Justin. I was watching him do his thing, and like I felt really, really awkward. I was like, what am I doing? I felt really aware of my actions. I was like, if I do something wrong, maybe he'll see it, and he'll ask what's wrong, and I'll just start, like, it's just anxiety, and it just keeps going and going and going and going and going, and it won't stop. Oh my god. So I took like one small hit, and then we were doing it, and then it was white. It was milk. And I was like, might as well try. So I tried to clear it, and then I was like almost done, and I was like, I don't want to finish this. So I stopped, and I told Justin, finish it. And I got a lot. I stood up, and I went, just clout everywhere. And I sat down. I sat like I had my elbows on my knees, and I was just sitting there, and I was just like, I could feel like my lungs were like going like this inside of me, like they were just contracting in, and it was just so tight. And I was like, and I looked at Justin, and I just said, ow, because it shit hurted. And I leaned back, I put my arms over my head because that opens up your lungs so you can breathe better. So I did that, and I was just breathing, and then I was just letting him finish. We laid down, and this is the part where I start, like, he turns the light off, I get visual, like I'm starting to get visuals, I guess. And this is the part where it gets really weird. I feel like I started to forget who he was, and the way he looked, he didn't look like himself. And I mean, everything was fine, but I kind of felt like I was in a movie, or I was, yeah, I felt like I was watching somebody else. Like, I knew I was inside of my body, and I knew I was looking outside of my eyeballs, so I couldn't see myself. I could see Justin and everything that we were just like doing, or like barely talking about. We were just kind of sitting there, and like I was trying to talk to him. I don't remember what I was saying, and maybe he does, but there was like a little bit of communication. I don't really remember because it was really intense. Everything was so intense. And oh, excuse me. At one point we were just sitting there, and like he just stops. And I'm just like observing, like just looking around his room. And then he goes, holy shit, I'm tripping the fuck out. I thought I heard police sirens. And I was just sitting there. I was looking around, and then I started hearing something. I don't know what I was hearing. I started looking at his window, and like he had his closet light on, which shines against his blinds. And there was like 3 dots, but they were like shifting and changing colors. It was more of a yellow to blue, and I was freaking out. And then I just stopped. I looked at him. I was like, you're making me paranoid. He was like, no, it's fine. And then what happened after that? I think that's when it got even deeper into my mind. When the whole point about it was like a movie, or like it felt like I was like on my first date. I don't want to say my first date, but I felt like I was on a first date, and everything was just so awkward, and I was just trying to understand. I was trying to, I just felt so awkward. I don't know why, because I know who Justin is. I'm so comfortable with him, but in that point in time, he was somebody else. He was somebody new, and I was trying to figure this out, and I was trying to, I don't know, it was just so different. And the way his face looked, like, you guys probably don't, I mean, if you do know what Justin looks like, you know what his face looks like. But everything was, from my eyes, everything was in a fishbowl. So, like, from my perspective, everything was like this. Like, curved this way. So, his nose was really long. His eyes were kind of, like, slanted back. And it was just so weird. I was like, I don't know who this person is. Who am I laying next to? And, like, I couldn't talk to him. I got to a point where I just couldn't talk. I was just sitting there, and these visuals was going, they were fucking insane. And I was looking at him, and every slight, like, I was in a stop motion film, and every slight movement was like, like, I don't know, but it was like that, and every frame was like a different universe to my brain, and this sounds so fucking crazy, but like, it's acid. What do you expect? I felt like there was different universes. Like every second, every new frame that I saw in my brain was just another universe. I felt like my skin was vibrating through frequencies of different universes, and I was so confused, and I was just flying through this endless, like, I was flying through the space-time continuum. I don't know what the fuck was going on. And at one point, I lost it. So everything was getting darker and darker and darker in my eyes. Like, everything in my peripheral was just getting darker, and it was zooming in. And then at one point, I was getting such horrible anxiety. I felt like if I made the wrong move, I knew he was going to react. I knew he was going to react. And that's what was so intense and like scary for me. And it kind of felt like, if you've ever played the game Skyrim, it kind of felt like that in my brain. I kind of felt like I was in a game. Every time he said something or did something, I had like different options in my brain. And if I did, because I know I could do so many different things, like I'm aware of what I could do. If I move the wrong way, if I make the wrong facial expression, if I look the wrong way. This is actually what goes on inside of my brain normally, but on such a smaller and more confined way. But since I was on this drug, it was my entire being. I was completely my anxiety. And because I kept, it started transitioning, everything was fine, and then it slowly started getting like sad. He was worried, and he kept asking me what I was thinking about. I couldn't tell him what I was thinking about. All I could do was reassure him that it wasn't anything bad. I just wanted to make sure that he knew that I wasn't thinking anything bad, because something happened between us that last night, and I didn't want him to think that I was thinking bad, but he knew something was off. He could tell because he could see in my face, and I forgot who he was. I forgot what I looked like. I forgot where I was. And then at one point, when I can explain I can explain the visuals. I believe I could draw them, but not as an intense way that I saw them, but I could draw a rough like way that I saw them. And this happened 2 nights ago, and I still remember everything vividly, and I feel like I'm going to remember this because I remember my other trips. I remember my bad trips that I've had before. I remember what I was thinking. I remember, oh my god. Anyway, back on topic. At the point where I think my ego death started to happen is we were laying there, and as my vision kept getting darker and darker, I was separating from my body, from my mind. I was just, I don't know, it gets harder to explain the ego death part because if I try to explain the thoughts that separated me from my mind, that's when it gets harder to explain. But when I finally snapped back to reality, oh, there goes gravity. Okay, anyway, so it just, everything got dark, and then I was looking at Justin, and then all of a sudden, I heard like, and then it stopped, and it just went, and then my vision went black, like I was closing my eyes, and then it just snapped like a rubber band. It was like, and it snapped back, and I started instantly crying. I had a full-on meltdown, and like I leaned away from Justin, and I remember I was doing this. I saw my hands, and it was so weird, and I instantly started viciously shaking. I felt pure terror. I said, I honestly don't know what the fuck is going on right now. And then I just started rambling. I can't remember what I was rambling. And he was like, what do you need to do? What do we need to do? And I said, I just need to cry. I just need to have this panic attack. I need to have it just so I can ground myself. And I sat up. I was breathing. I was looking around his room. He started to tell me that I'm your boyfriend. We're at my house. We took acid. Everything's okay. And then I felt more grounded. I figured out, I remembered who he was. I looked at him, and I saw the Justin that I knew. I saw who he was. I was like, that's okay. I looked around his room, and I was like, oh yeah, we're at his house. And we're off his gravel street next to Chisa, over by the schools. Okay, I'm alright. And so at that point, I calmed down, but then I had this slight panic in the back of my mind, but it wasn't to the maximum of like destroying me or like me freaking the fuck out. In my eyes, I felt like I was in a vortex. Like if I'm sitting still, I am enclosed in a vortex like this. And I could really feel the trails of my eyes. Like if I do this, like that, like right now it's just like chopping to different locations of the figure 8 I just did in my eyes. But when I was on acid, it was a vortex. I was like, you, and I was trying to get out of it, and I felt like I was living in a loop. Even though I was constantly doing something different, since I felt like I was inside this circle, I guess I just felt like it was a loop. I felt like I was stuck, and so I kept trying to do different things. I kept doing this, because that's what I do, because I do that sometimes when I'm on acid, and I start freaking out. I start feeling my hair, I start feeling my face, I was looking at my hands, I was feeling my hands, I was looking over, and then I took a few drinks of our Sunkist. It's hard to drink. It was hard, but it was nice. But I felt in a loop, and it wasn't scary, it was just uncomfortable. I was just like, I was kind of tense, and then he pulled out my phone, we started listening to music, and then I had two voices in my brain. I felt like there was a split going on. There was a side that was on acid, and there was a side that was living in the moment. And in the moment, I was singing along to my really emo songs, showing him my emo songs. And in this side, or on the other side, I was constantly thinking, and I was thinking of like I was aware of everything that I was doing, and everything that I was thinking, and everything that was going on, and everything that all the drugs and all my anxiety was. Okay. Excuse me. I was aware. I was thinking. I was like I was aware of my visuals of the vortex that I was stuck in, and I kept thinking about it. But the other side of me was like, distract yourself. Get out of that. Stop thinking about that. Focus right now. Look at Justin. Start singing to your song. Start doing a stupid dance that you always do. But there is still that one side, and then I will always remember that breakdown that I had. I have never felt such terror in my life, and I've never felt my physical body ever shake so viciously before. I was literally shivering, but I knew it wasn't shivering, because shivering is a feeling I know. This was a different type of shaking. It was a complete anxiety breakdown. I don't know, dude. And after that, everything started to kind of calm down. It got better. And then as I came down from the visuals and all of that, I felt at peace. I felt like I felt like I just got plopped right back into my place. I was just like sitting here. I could feel the weight of my human body. I was just sitting there, looking at his fan. My mind was so empty. I was so in the moment. I didn't have any anxiety. Why do I say that so weird? I didn't have any thoughts that were making me uncomfortable. I wasn't afraid of anything to say to Justin. There was no anxiety. It was gone. At least in that point in time. I don't really feel my anxiety right now. I don't know if LSD cured my anxiety, but I feel physically, mentally different. Something different happened inside of my mind. I feel like there are walls inside of my brain that I have put up subconsciously from so much trauma that I've had and so much that I've been through, and I just fucking bursted through a wall. And I feel like I can actually communicate now. I feel like I can talk about anything that I feel. I don't feel ashamed. I feel like if I am depressed, I will say it. If I am feeling a certain way, like I want to fucking kill myself, I will say it. But I won't kill myself. I know these things that I feel, or like certain things that the thoughts that go in my mind, I could tell somebody, but I don't want them to think that I'm going to act upon those things. It's just a thought. I know who I am. I know I'm not gonna do it. I just need to get those things out sometimes, which is kind of weird, or I don't know, but I feel different. feel changed. And I'm honestly really thankful that I did acid that night. Even in my breakdown, I told him, don't let me do acid again, which I've said before too. On another bad trip, I said, don't let me do acid again. But that acid trip, I honestly felt like I figured out the meaning of life and death, but that was only the beginning of the trip I had last night, or 2 nights ago. That's all it was. And now that I did it again, I snapped. I realized I didn't figure out the meaning of life and death. I didn't figure out what death is, but it was an ego death. I mentally separated from who I was to my human body, to my spiritual being. I don't know. And this is so deep of me to share, but I need someone to know. I need people to understand what I felt. I believe that my spirit, or that my soul, is young, and I am experiencing everything for the first time, and this is just wonderful to me. This is just astonishing and mind-blowing, and I feel like I've seen the trees for the first time, and I feel like I look at things so differently, and once I realized, when I came down, I realized like I felt like I was traveling through the universe, as I just want to know more. I just want to learn more. That's my dog. I'm just gonna keep going. But yeah, my little sister's friend is here, so sorry about that. But I really just want to learn more about about the universe. And I also have this feeling, since I want to know more, I feel like I should definitely have breaks from acid. But I feel like every once in a while I should do it. And some people might disagree with me, because that's a drug, and it can harm you. It can burn your brain. It can give you schizophrenia. Or at least that's what I've been told. I don't know the actual facts, but I know acid can mess with your brain. I know it can do something. But I feel like for me to understand this whole psychedelic feeling or experience, or this whole universe thing, this acid, this psychedelics that exists, really expands my brain. And I feel like I can actually see the universe and realize what the universe is. And I can separate human life and reality that we live in to a whole nother thing that we don't know much about. There's religions and there's books upon it, but actually living and putting yourself through it with psychedelics is fucking insane. Living those, like, I've never felt something like that before, and I'm so glad that I did, because I just want to know more. I will probably do acid again. I probably will. Only when I believe that I'm ready for it, whenever I feel like I can handle it. Maybe I will have another breakdown. Maybe I will. But with every breakdown, it's terrifying in the moment, but once it's over with, because it will end. My breakdown will come to an end, and I have to keep that in mind. It's going to stop. And after that, that's when the change comes. That's when the realization hits me. And that's when I can actually think clearly. I can be in perspective. And this is crazy to me. All of this is so insane. And this is a deep part of me that I'm sharing, because I don't know if my friends will see this. I don't know if I'm going to tell a lot of people about this video. I might just post it, and I might tell a few people, and then let whatever happens to it. I might just let whoever finds it find it. I'm recording this on my Samsung phone, so my camera's not that good, but I don't care. I needed to get this out. I needed to talk to somebody. And today I'm going to go talk to my friend who's very spiritually enlightened. And I'm going to do more research on this. I've been reading about ego death. I'm just gonna research this stuff. But yeah, this is a 25-minute video. No cuts, no anything. My name's Alex. Thanks for listening.